Alright, now it's been a while since the last DLC dropped for MK1, the last Terminator, right? So everyone's speculating and wondering what's going to be next. Are we going to get Injustice 3, or are we going to get another Mortal Kombat game, right? But I just wanted to give my 2 cents and tell Ed Boon, I know they probably already working on the next game, but I just want to give my 2 cents anyway and say that, hey, if you guys are making another fighting game, I just think that you guys need to talk to Warner Bros. Ed Boon, you need to go up to Warner Bros, knock on their door, and you need to get on your knees and beg them to not do it, because you guys have so much potential to make another game. Like, Warner Bros can make money off so many different types of games that you guys can make if you guys just go back to your roots, to the Midway days. Now, I would never blame Ed Boon for like, oh, Ed Boon, you're a bad guy because the game's bad, this and that, you know, like people blame Harada, or like people for 2K, they blame like I forgot his name, he's so fucking trash. Ronnie 2K, yeah, Ronnie 2K and Beluba, whatever, you know what I mean, Mike Wang, whatever the fuck. Like, I'm not gonna blame Ed Boon, right? Because we've seen Ed Boon's work, we've seen what Ed Boon likes to do in the interviews. It's very apparent that he likes to do new things, and he likes to be innovative, and he likes to have creativity in his games, right? We can see that from Midway. Like, the Midway days, they had much more room to be creative and do creative things and new things, right? And you see that it played out good for the most part. Like, when they actually care about the game and they don't have these people over them, like bringing them down, like, you see what they can do and what they can implement within the games. Like, their PS2 era days are unmatched, like even up to MKX. Like, MKX was great too, Kunjin and some of the newer characters are kind of like lackluster, but for the most part, they made a good game. MK9, great game. But those Midway days, bro, if they just go back to those roots, I'm telling you, they can revive Warner Bros. By themselves. Like, if they just go back to the Shaolin Monks days. I know Special Forces was the worst Mortal Kombat game ever, but the concept, if done right, on PS5, Next Gen, Unreal Engine 6, Unreal Engine 5, whatever, they can make a great game out of that. You know what I mean? And now, Warner Bros., like, I don't want to make excuses, right? But I understand, okay, they're trying to make quick money. I heard they're in debt or whatever, or they're having money problems over there at Warner Bros., right? It makes sense what they're trying to do, just get a quick cash, move on to the next thing, get some quick cash, right? Mortal Kombat 1 is the most profitable, so they're going to get a game out quickly. They're going to get some stuff out regardless of how good the game is. They know it's going to sell, right? Especially the DLC and the skins. Okay, I understand that. But if you were going to do a live service game, right, why not make a game that makes sense to last longer and be live service, like a Shaolin Monks? Create a character, so much money to be made from microtransactions and costumes. I know, okay, I'm not advocating for it, but it's the future of gaming. They're gonna put it in regardless. All we have to do is hope and pray that they give us good prices if they do something like this. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm advocating like, oh my god, yeah, just charge us $1 million, $1 zillion, yeah, take our wallets. But I'm saying, Ed Boon, if you allow him to go back to his roots and go back to his creativity, he can make a game in which we're willing to open our wallets and pay for it. We're willing to pay for these skins. We're willing to pay for the expansions because the game is so good, it's creative, it's innovative, and it's something new and fresh that we haven't had in a while. Now, come on, man. I've never played a Mortal Kombat mobile game in my life, but I would definitely play Mortal Kombat. If they made a mobile version of Mortal Kombat, I would play that on my phone. You know what I mean? Driving around on my lunch break, spearing people off map in a little cute cart with a little cute baby scorpion. I would definitely do that. You know what I mean? And I'd be willing to pay, $1 or $2, maybe $3 over time, on skins or whatever, Like, if they give us what we want, if they give us good things, like they give us good content, good quality games, good creative innovative games like they did back in the Midway games, we will open our wallets willingly. Like, you don't have to try to milk us. Like, we will milk ourselves because we want to support good things. It's part of business. You make something good, people are willing to buy it. And back in the Midway games, Mortal Kombat Deception, the Conquest mode can be a game on its own. That's how expansive it was. Like, if they dive deep into the lore, give us a new game like that, dive deep into the lore of Mortal Kombat, give us some, updates on some of the characters forgot about, like Natara, or like maybe give us some more of, I know Nataru's in the new Mortal Kombat 1, and I don't like her story, okay? I like the older story where she was trying to save her people or whatever. That's better to me. But anyways, we're not gonna get into that. Like I was saying, like the conquest mode, right? They make a game like that, up to date, give us character creation, RPG elements, let us level up our characters, let us have creative freedom with our character, let us walk around the different realms, learn about the lore, learn about what happened to Kai after Mortal Kombat 4, you know what I mean? Like, where is his journey taking him? So many expansion packs, we can, see the Titan realm, it's so much stuff that they could do, and it's so much stuff, like, if they want to make money, like, it would just make sense for them not to make a fighting game, okay? I'm sorry, alright? I'm sorry, Sonic Fox. I'm sorry, Ninja Killer. I'm sorry, Tweety. I'm sorry, guys. I know you guys, this is what you guys make your money off of or whatever, but, like, I'm just speaking from a Mortal Kombat fan, I love fighting games, Tekken, whatever, Street Fighter. I love all those games. But the FGC right now, it's just so dumbed down. It's a shell of what it used to be, You can't even message people nowadays. Like, if you try to message people, they have their freaking messages off, or they're trying to get you banned. You can't trash talk anymore. The game is dumbed down. It's just offense. Every fighting game right now is offense, offense, offense. No chess involved. No mindset involved. Just brain dead stuff. Especially if you're not a pro player, you're like intermediate or lower. It's just, I'm not gonna say the C word, but it's just unplayable. You know what I mean? Unplayable. It's not fun. You're just getting spammed over and over with offense. Most people don't even know what they're doing nowadays. It's just bad. I'm not going to rant about the FGC right now. I'm just going to talk about Mortal Kombat, okay? And I believe, like, there's so many different routes that they could take for the next game. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think they need to make Injustice 3. I think they need to stick with Mortal Kombat and revive it, because a lot of people are giving it a lot of bad flack. And they have so many things that they can do. Like, even if they make a Shaolin Monks, right? They can make a shot. Like, they should just make me a dev. Just hire me. NetherRealm hired me. Warner Bros. Hired me, because my imagination is just unmatched. You know what I mean? So, like I was saying, like, they can make a Shaolin Monks game. And this is just coming off the top of my head. I'm ranting. Like, I'm not even, no script, no nothing. Like, they can make a Shaolin Monks game, right? And they can implement this whole Chronica time thing, right? If you guys watch Snowblind, Mortal Kombat Snowblind, the movie, the animated movie, spoiler alert, I'm gonna give you 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so at the end of Snowblind, right, you find out that the whole universe was created by Kano, because he had the hourglass. He's the one who won the hourglass, right? And if we get a Shaolin Monks type of game, and instead of like following one story, like, we're following the main new Mortal Kombat 1 universe, but then we get to traverse and go into different timelines. And you know how much endless DLC you could create just off the fact that there's infinite universes? I would love to see what a universe would look like with Johnny Cage got when he's the Titan, when he's the Keeper of Time, or like Ermac when he's the Keeper of Time. What would that look like? What would Rain look like if he was the Keeper of Time? You know what I mean? Like, there's just so much stuff that they can do. They just need to be allowed to have that creative freedom like they used to back in the day. You know what I mean? And you can tell Ed Boon is always thinking about these type of things, because he's always tweeting about, oh, would you guys like to see another Mortal Kombat versus DC, or would you guys like to see another Shaolin Monks 2, or Fire, Scorpion and Sub-Zero is the main characters and this and that. So he cares about his franchise. He cares about Mortal Kombat, and it's just business. People have certain restrictions. He doesn't hold all the eggs in his basket, or whatever you want to say. But I understand, Warner Bros. Side as well. So it's all business at the end of the day. But I'm just giving my proposal, because instead of criticizing negativity, I can't even speak. Instead of being negative all the time, I would like to just, at least if I'm going to criticize something or like give a negative opinion on something, I like to always give a solution to, offset it or balance it out. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to say, oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is horrible, then not give like ways, I know, like, oh, dude, they're not going to listen to you, dude. They're probably never going to watch your video, but still, I would at least like to be constructive and give my opinion on, how things should be or how they can be fixed. You know what I mean? But yeah, like, at the end of the day, they have so many things, you know what I mean? Like puzzle combat, that could be a mobile game on its own, you know what I mean? Chess combat, that could, like, you could literally, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could sell it, sell a chess combat on top of Shaolin Monks on the, like, it's, if you guys want to make money, just give us what we want. It's basically what I'm saying. Just give us what we want, you know what I mean? Just let Ed Boon get in there. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Okay, Ed Boon is not flawless. Okay, Ferrotor, trash. I don't like Devora. I don't like Kunjin. You know what I mean? Like, Takeda is cool, but his design, he should be more edgy in my opinion. They don't have no edginess. It's all just jokes and stuff, and the combat kids, like, it's hard to take them serious at all. You know what I mean? Jackie is kind of more serious, Cassie a little bit sometimes, but at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Takeda should, you know what? I'm not gonna get into that. I'll make a whole video about Takeda. But anyways, let's stay back on track. Okay, what other games can they make? They could also make like the Special Forces game, right? They could make a Special Forces game, man, where you're using gadgets and you're using Kano, and they go into the lore of what happened, what actually happened, where we get to see when Kano betrayed everybody, and we can see Suhao and when he betrayed everybody and stuff like that. We can see when Sonya and Jax first met, and you know, they're doing missions and stuff, and you're doing covert missions, and it got like gore, like you slamming people's heads with Jack's arms, and you know, putting bombs in people's chests and blowing them up with Sonya, like a co-op game. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much stuff that they can do if they do it right. And Mortal Kombat has so much lore. It has so much lore. We now have Titans. We now have Keepers of Time. We can always go back to the old Mortal Kombat universe. We can move forward with the new Mortal Kombat universe. And even in both universes, there's so many things to be explored. Like in the new universe, we still haven't explored Onaga. We still haven't seen Shao Kahn become evil. The Deadly Alliance and what they could do possibly when they become stronger. The new Mortal Kombat tournament on Shang Tsung's island hasn't happened. We can go back in time, like I said, and we can see what happened with Kai and the White Lotus and Evil Raiden. Like, it's just so much things that are unexplored. Like, you know, we still haven't seen Order Realm or Chaos Realm, you know what I mean? And like, it's just so many things that we can do. Like, you can make a game based off of Chaos Realm versus Order Realm in its own, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so many things that they can do. Like, I just don't think they need to make another fighting game. I just don't think they need to make another fighting game. I think they need to take a break. I think they need to become creative, go back into their roots, make something fun. If they want it to last for a while, you know, give us like a new Shaolin Monks, give us character creation on it, you know, make the story extensive, you know, give us a couple DLC packs where we can roam, you know, farther into the land, more lore to explore, more costumes, more special moves, more whatever you want to do the game, more trainers, more masters, you know what I mean, more boss fights, more co-op, whatever you want to give us over at least 2 years, 2.5 years. And in that 2.5 years, then you work on the next Mortal Kombat game. You go back and you look and see what made the game successful, what made the game fun, where was the game at in its biggest time in competitive, like MKX. That is the most esports or, you know, competitive fighting games I have ever watched. Ever is Mortal Kombat X. It was so exciting. It was over the top. It was fast paced. You've seen so many different characters because every character had 3 variations. They were in depth. There was 3 different ways to play each character, and you've seen so many different characters like Kotal Khan, Scorpion, Takeda. Like, you've seen all those in high rank play. You know, every character looked cool, from Kung Lao to Melina. Even Ferrotor looked good when he was being played good. You know what I mean? So MK9 also, a lot of broken stuff, but you also see a lot of different characters and the combos, and it was fast paced, you know what I mean? MK11 slower, kind of more boring. MK1 just cameo. Even though both of those games were fun and I did play them, you know, they wasn't as exciting as MKX and MK9, you know what I mean? And the midway games, you know, the golden era of Mortal Kombat, you had lots of characters, you had lots of lore being explored, and you always had cool villains. You also always had a good story, and you also always had good side games and content to, you know, pair with that, you know, good story and that good lore and those good characters, you know what I mean? And most of the new characters back in the day were good, and they had interesting lore as well. So, you know, I think they should take about 2.5 years, maybe 2 years at the least, to really flesh out and really go back to the drawing board and see what made Mortal Kombat great. You know, maybe even give us an injustice within that 2 years, and maybe take another half year, so 2.5, 3 years for the next Mortal Kombat fighting game. You know what I mean? I don't think we need to, because the FGC right now it's in shambles. You know what I mean? You got Tekken 8 Season 2, you got Street Fighters always been doing well, but you know, it's not doing as good as it should be. You know, there's still problems with like balancing and, you know, content or whatever. Mortal Kombat 1, I think it's doing good. I think it's pretty fun right now, but at the end of the day, you know, it still could be better for sure. You know what I mean? So I do think they need to just take their time, take a break, actually see what the FGC wants, like what it makes a successful FGC game in 2025 right now. Look at it right now, look at what everybody's saying, what everybody wants, and you know, take their time to make something that can maybe appease to the casuals as well as the core fighting game players, because you cannot go against the core fighting game players, because we are the ones who are going to stay. The casuals are going to buy the game, but you know, nowadays it's all about who is playing the game within the next month, the next year, the next 2 years, you know what I mean? So it's all about, you know, people who are playing the game at that time, you know, over time, you know what I mean? So you need to help your core players, because your core players will never leave. You know, the casuals always leave. They'll always go play something else, you know what I mean, because they don't take fighting games serious. So yep, that's just my little rant. Let me know in the comment section below. Let's have fun in the comments. Let's actually give game ideas, like give your best game idea, what you think would be the best non-fighting game for Mortal Kombat, like Shaolin Monks 2, or give your story, give how you would do the game. Like would you just go back to the 3D era of Mortal Kombat? Would you go back to like the old school 2D era? How would you make the game? You know, character creation, would it be, oh no, let's make a game just about Raiden before he became a god, let's make a game about, you know, how Fujin and Raiden became demigods, and let's make a Shaolin Monks about them instead of, you know what I mean, let's make a game about Shinnok and how Shinnok actually, you know, fell from grace. But you know what, I'm gonna make a video on all the characters that deserve their own games. How about that? Okay, it's Waffles. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. This was just a little rant video I came up with, because I really just thinking, man, like I just don't want to see another actual fighting game, you know. I just, because it's gonna be a waste, man. It's gonna be a waste. Mortal Kombat is so much, you know, it's not just the fighting game, you know what I mean? They had so many great games that weren't just fighting games, like, and even when they did have fighting games, like in the midway era, like they had content that you could do that was so extensive it could be a game in itself. Like even Mortal Kombat Armageddon's Conquest mode, it was so fun. Like the side scroller beat 'em up, just throwing people into fire. Shaolin Monks is always gonna be a great. It's people who don't even play Mortal Kombat no more or know anything about any Mortal Kombat, but they know about Shaolin Monks. Like Shaolin Monks is one of the greatest games on PlayStation 2, period. You know what I mean? So I just wish they would, like, you know, look at that and really go back to the roots and be different, and know that their franchise, you know, isn't always about, you know, going to Evo and this and that. Because at the end of the day, you know, you can always make a fight. Like they can go back to MKX, you know, like they just brought back Marvel vs. Capcom 2, you know what I mean? So you can always go back to one of the older games like MK9, MKX, remaster it, you know, tweak it, you know, make the game, you know, more balanced or whatever. Add maybe even add one or two things, take away some character, whatever. But at the end of the day, you know, you can always go back and remaster a game and put that at Evo. You know, I would love to see MKX come back. Like, I'm pretty sure nobody in the comment section below would not, or anybody watching this video would be mad if people went back to MKX remastered, like on PS5. You know what I mean? Like 120 frames, MKX. Come on now. Like better graphics, maybe throwing some extra stages or something, more skins. Come on now. I would watch that all day, you know what I mean? Hey, it's Waffles. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell me what game you want to see come back, or what original game would you make in instead. Do you think I'm wrong? Because I could be wrong, you know. Maybe everybody likes Mortal Kombat fighting games and they think they should just keep making fighting games. I personally believe they should take a break, because Mortal Kombat isn't just about, you know, going to Evo and, you know, being this high profile game. I know that's what it's been since NetherRealm took over MK9 all the way up to now. But like I said, you know, Midway was always doing crazy things, and most of the time it paid off. Like even MK versus DC, you can bring that back and do MK versus Injustice. I made a video about that, I'll link it down below. But like basically what I was talking about is Injustice, you know, they actually unalive people. Like Superman is actually like tearing limbs apart and doing crazy stuff. Like they, like if you watch if you watch the DC animated movies, like the evil people in there, like, yeah, they're getting down. Like it's realistic. Like they're ripping. Like you should go and look at the newest one, Dark Apocalypse War. If you see what was going on in that movie with Doomsday, oh my god, you would think, oh my god, like Yes, make an MK versus Injustice. I promise you, if they do MK versus Injustice, they will be able to do fatalities. Okay, you see with the John Cena character Peacemaker that, you know, DC can have, you know, gore. So I don't want to hear nothing about that. If you want to hear my thoughts on that, and you want to debate me, go and comment on my MK versus Injustice video. That's Waffles, and I'm out. Peace.